everyone. Welcome to the Colorful Knits podcast, formerly called Just Mocha Latte. My name is Maggie, and this is my cozy little corner of YouTube where I love to share about all things knitting and crochet and just my love for all things fiber related. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Mocha Latte _. I hope you have all been doing wonderful. I cannot believe that I think the last time I recorded was right before Christmas, and it just came and went so fast. I had a wonderful holiday, wonderful new year. Very much looking forward to 2024. I have lots of intentions, lots of goals that I'm really looking forward to this year. I feel like this is going to just be a great year. I have quite a bit of things to share today. I have been very inspired and just wanting to create all of the things. I wanted to share first, I am wearing a sweater that I crocheted I think it was last January. I did not follow a pattern for this. I believe I just did maybe half double crochet back loop for the whole panel. I really was looking for like a turtleneck inspired sweater. Let me stand up here a little bit. Oh my gosh, it's just a perfect winter sweater. Anyways, I used, I think it was Karen Simply Soft, and the color was Lavender Haze. I just feel like it's so great for January. This color, it's super soft, super warm. I do wish I would have changed, the turtleneck a little bit. I just did a single crochet, and I wish I would have made it longer so I could fold it down. I could still fold it down, but I don't know, but I still love it, and I was so excited to wear it today because it has been so cold here, like the last week, like single digit temperatures. For those of you that don't know, I live here in Pennsylvania with my husband and our 2 little cats, and it is prime time winter. We've had lots of snowstorms, lots of freezing temperatures, so I just felt today was a perfect day to wear this. It has been snowing on and off, like today, like just a nice, cozy, slow, just flurry, not like, just like heavy snow squalls, which I also love when I don't have to drive in it. I also find that I was never a winter person. I hate it. It's dark and gloomy. And recently I've been just trying to, accept what January is, like a time of slowness and rest and a time to just kind of reset for the year and really just slow down. So I really have been just slowing down and creating and not trying to, rush through. The time already goes so fast, I feel, so I'm trying not to just be like, we're spring. I'm just taking it slow and enjoying the seasons as they come. So yeah, anyways, let's dive into today's episode. Like I said, I think I have 2 finished objects, a couple works in progress, some acquisitions. I have some books I want to share, and I want to talk about video games today. My goal for this year, for this podcast, was to just spend a little more time on it and really sit down and think of how I wanted this to be, and really talk about things that I love, even if maybe I think, I don't know if somebody will have an interest in that. It's okay, because videos are skippable. If it's if there's something I talk about that someone doesn't have an interest in, we can skip through that. But anyways, I will get to that later. So I'm drinking some hot tea today on this very cold day, and my bow ties are cool mug. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. Love Doctor Who. I am actually like 1 season or maybe like 2 seasons behind on the show, and I recently jumped back in to try to catch up. So I've really been enjoying that. But we can talk about shows later. But yeah, this is my Doctor Who mug, and today I'm drinking Color Theory's bubblegum tea. I don't remember if I shared this tea in previous podcasts. I probably have, because it's one of my favorites of theirs. It is actually it's green tea with pineapple, mango, and key lime. Again, this is I am obsessed with this tea company. I will link them below. They make the best teas. This one definitely, it's green tea, and it definitely reminds me of like, what's that bubble gum? Double bubble? Is that double bubble? I think that's the bubble gum that I'm thinking of. And it has like a subtle hint of that. And I actually put sugar in mine because I like it a little more sweet. And it really does taste like bubble gum, and it's so good. So yeah, I'm just gonna dive in to finished objects. So my last podcast, I had cast on a pair of birthday socks for December, and I finally finished them, and they are perfect. So here they are. I do not have my sock blockers. I actually left them at my sister's house, so I don't have my blockers, so it might be a little like wonky to just show you, but I am obsessed with these. They turned out so perfect. They are like a funfetti cake. Like, these are the perfect birthday socks. So the main colorway was Sail Away from Ruby and Roses. This was my first time buying from her, and I've been seeing her everywhere. And I love to follow her, and I recently started watching her podcast too, and like her YouTube, and I just love it, and she is just awesome. Anyways, I saw this yarn she made a sweater out of, and you know, obviously I love color, so I had to get it, and I'm like, those would be perfect socks. And then I used, the pink was Fangirl Fibers Fairy Tale. I think I might have gotten this like 2 years ago now. I can't remember. It's been a while. But it was just such a perfect contrast. Because this has like some speckles of red and purple, and it just tied it together so well. So I just did a plain vanilla sock as usual. I cast on 64 stitches, and I always use 9-inch circulars. I never measure, like, when I do socks for myself, I never measure like my leg. I just always eyeball it. I'm like, oh, I think that's long enough. So I don't have like a specific count for like how many rounds I do for the leg. Every single sock I have is different. I just go with what I feel, honestly. But I do try like to match them. Like, I try to make sure that they're the same. So when I finish one sock and I start the next, you know, I'll kind of like line them up and make sure that they're like the same length before I go back and add my heels in. But anyways, yeah, these are my birthday socks. I think I shared last podcast that the last 2 years I started casting on a new pair of socks for my birthday, and I don't know why, it makes it like extra fun. So yeah, those are the only pair of socks that I have completed, and my first finished pair of socks for this year. Pretty crazy. I have one more finished object, and it actually kind of matches my outfit today. This was a very like on a whim project that I had this skein of yarn in my stash forever, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna make a hat with this because it has been so cold and snowy, and I was just craving a very thick winter hat, so I finished one. I did not save the tag. It was a Michaels, it was definitely from Michaels, the yarn, and it's just like a chunky yarn. And I think that color was also called lavender, so it definitely kind of matches my sweater. I did not follow pattern. I think I just cast on maybe 46 stitches. I think I did 46. On size 9mm knitting needles, I think. And anyways, I just did like a basic rib. And I wanted it longer because I wanted it to fold up. I just wanted this super chunky like beanie. I don't even remember like how many rounds I did, and then I just decreased. It was like the most random, just like whatever. I just want a hat right now. I think it took me a day to make this because chunky yarn whips up so quick. So I think it was like a weekend that we were snowed in, and it was just like a super cozy knit. Actually, trying on for you. Oh, it's so good. I just wanted a real chunky, thick yarn. And now that my hair's long, I enjoy wearing hats more. When my hair's short, I don't like the way I look with hats on, but this one turned out really good, and it is so warm. This is a perfect handmade winter outfit, if I say so myself, but super warm. And that's what I'm going for, just warm and cozy as always. So yeah, that is my other finished object. Now my hair is gonna be a mess, but it's okay. So yeah. So let me see here. I have a couple works in progress. Quite a couple, actually. I'm actually gonna start with, and I usually dive into socks, but I'm gonna share my blankets. I've been like picking them up here and there. I just had like the want to work on them, I think because it's been so cold, and I really just want to get them done. So I just pick up whatever I feel like working on. So I still have my 2 granny square blankets. This granny stripe blanket I still have not touched. I have not added in any more sock yarn yet. That's why I never show it, because I haven't worked on it. But I'll show you. I made a little bit more progress on both of these, especially my like scrappy one. But I wanted to show you this one because I just cannot get enough of these colors. So, oh yeah, I definitely made some progress on it from the last time I showed you. You can see my little stitch marker there. But yeah, it's just a giant granny square. The tutorial for the granny square that I use, because every time I go to crochet a granny square, I have to go back to like a pattern and like refresh my memory, because there's so many different granny squares, but this one specifically. But I can link, I think I found it on Pinterest. It's just like a free pattern. But I can link that if you're interested in like this specific like granny square pattern. But these colors are so good, and I cannot wait to finish it and use it in my living room. I just feel like it will go perfectly with my like living room colors. I very much love like florally plants. I have lots of like blues and pops of pink. So I think it's just gonna be a perfect. And this yarn is really soft. I apologize if I feel like a broken record, but if there's anybody new here, I want to share everything I'm using. This is a Karen Skinny Cake yarn that I got from Michaels. I do know this color is discontinued, and I have 2 cakes left. I think this will be more than enough to finish my blanket, I'm hoping. But if I run out, I'm going to be out of luck, and I'll just probably have to find colors similar to this. But this color's called Melon Smoothie, and I don't know, sometimes you just go into a yarn store and your eyes just lock with a certain color, and that was definitely this. And so yeah, so I've just been like chipping away at this. Blankets are always just such a good mindless project, and to me they're like the coziest project to work on because it's a blanket. But yeah, now that it's winter, I really have been wanting to work on these. So that's the first one. And next, I actually have not touched this one in months, and my one friend is also working on one, and she brought it over the other day when she came to visit, and she was working on it, and I was like, well, now I want to work on mine too. So I pulled it out, and since I pulled it out, I've just been wanting to work on it, and it's just a lot of fun. And there's something about just like working on a scrappy project that is just so mindless, and there's no pressure to, not that there's really much there shouldn't be much pressure in your crochet and knitting to begin with, in my opinion, because it's something that it's a hobby that you enjoy. So I try not to put like so much pressure on myself. Anyways, there's just something nice about just like grabbing a skein and throwing it in, not paying attention, just grabbing a skein, throwing it in, and just seeing how the colors work up. I might have to stand up for this one. So, oh yeah, we're getting there. This one is turning out so beautiful. I love it. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I really did do. I can't even hold it up without standing up. I love it. I love it. I love it. I really love certain areas too, the way they work up like with all these colors. So pretty. It's the same the same granny square pattern as I use for my other blanket. So I have like these random mini skeins that my mom gave to me like a couple years ago now, that she accidentally ordered online, and she didn't want them, so she gave them to me. And I was like, well, what could I use for these? I don't want to waste them. It is acrylic yarn, so like, you know, it's 100% acrylic, and it's actually surprisingly soft for just acrylic yarn. But I am worried that when it comes time to wash this, how it's gonna hold up. So we'll see. But right now, I'm just enjoying it, and when that time comes, I'll worry about it then. Anyways, it's been a lot of fun to work on. So those are the only 2 blankets besides my granny stripe that I've just thoroughly been enjoying working on. But I just wanted to share those because honestly, that's what I've been working on the most is my blankets. Okay, so of course I'm gonna dive into socks. My last podcast I shared about, I was like working on gift knits from November through all of December. I finished some socks, like 5 pairs of socks for gifts. I still did not finish my brother-in-law's socks. I'm hoping, I told myself I would finish them by the end of this month, but we're already approaching the end of this month and I'm still only on the first sock. But we'll see. It's okay. I did show them to him because I knew I wasn't going to get them done for Christmas. So I did show them to him and I was like, here's your gift. It's not done, but it will be. But he was all excited, so I will get those done. I don't have them with me now to show you, but I did share them in last podcast. Oh, this tea is so good. It's like such a nice, I just love sweet teas. They're just such a treat. Okay, so then anyways, after my birthday socks, I had no sock whips. I was like, who am I? So I caked up 2 skeins of sock yarn yesterday. I'll share this first one. I did not cast it on yet, but I'll share the yarn. So this is the Baked with Love sock set from Gypsy Soul Fibers. She did like a collaboration with a couple other artists, and they had like the sock set and Progress Keeper, and I think they had like a bag, but I just snatched her sock yarn. So these are going to be a gift for my aunt that I always make socks for, and she loves them and it makes me so happy. So I thought these would be really cute to make her for like Valentine's Day. There's like really pretty pops of blue in there, but I love this pairing. So these are going to be for my aunt. I have not cast them on yet, but we'll definitely probably cast them on this week. I did start my other socks, but I have to share something really exciting first. So I dyed my first skein of yarn. I have been wanting to dabble in hand dyed yarn forever because I can never get enough of hand dyed yarn. I love the uniqueness that every dyer brings. I love the creativeness behind the colorways and that it turns into socks. So I dyed my first skein of yarn and I am just like so giddy and so excited. So I did cake it up and everything and I cast on the socks. So here is the yarn. Oh my god. I'm so excited. So this is it caked up and here it is working up. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, this past week, I did this like maybe a week and a half ago, I think, and I have not stopped talking about it to my poor husband and like my friends. Like I've just been so excited. The whole process of it was so fun and I expected it to be like hard and I don't know what I really was expecting, but I only dyed one skein and I immediately loved it, and now I'm like, I need to dye all the yarn. I have so many, like, I'm just so excited for this. So anyways, I dyed this with an acid dye. I did like a low, I think it was supposed to be like a low immersion dye, but you know, it was my first dye, so it all kind of blended together. But and then I like sprinkled some blue, and so it gave these really beautiful like pops of purple. Really, like it turned out like a dark purple, but that's how it's working looked up, and it is beautiful, and I am so excited. All right, love it. And this was just a purple mini that I had in my stash, and I'm like, hello, this will be perfect heels and toes. So I'm like, these can be my Valentine's Day socks because it's just like perfect. I'm sorry guys, I am just beaming. Like I'm so excited, and I feel like I'm just really excited for a new like journey, a new fiber journey, a new, you know, just, I'm just so excited. So the color turned out better than I ever thought possible. I didn't really have like a specific color in my head. I knew I wanted like a pink, so the acid dye that I had was like a hot fuchsia, and so like you can see like the very like the tonals, like how it's like brighter in some areas, and then when I put the blue in, it like darkened it a little bit. So I had no idea what I was expecting it to turn out to be, but it turned out better than I ever expected. I bought the undyed yarn actually from a local, well, I shouldn't say local, yeah, I guess it would be considered local, sheep farm? Is that the word is that what I'm trying to say? Sheep farm? I guess. Anyways, so this was 100% superwash wool. When I actually meant to buy their superwash nylon sock blend, but I accidentally just bought the superwash, it's totally fine. It does have more of like a rustic feel to it, but I also don't know if that's from the way I dyed it. Like maybe I didn't wash the dye out enough. I'm not really sure. I mean, it's fine. And after I knit these up, I'll probably give them like a nice soak and like a wool soak. So maybe they'll probably soften up a little bit, but I still am just so excited. I have a lot of, like I said earlier, I have a lot of intentions for my creative journey this year, and this just kind of sparked it, and I am just so excited. So excited. So yeah, that is the only socks I have going at the moment, if you can believe it. I just feel like I find when I'm feeling really creative and inspired, I can never just like work on one thing, and I want to work on like 10,000 different things. So anyways, I have two other projects that I've been working on that I wanted to share. I did share last podcast about knitting my first ever sweater. I have only ever crocheted any of my like sweaters or garments. I've only ever crocheted them. And I was watching oh my gosh, Audrey's Crafting Corner on YouTube, and she made this most beautiful sweater out of Dollar Tree yarn, and it was beautiful, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. I want to try to knit a sweater. So the pattern that it was and that I bought was I think it was called the Cozy Comfort Sweater by Darlingjadore. So the last podcast I had only just started, it's a raglan knit sweater, so I started with the collar, and I made some progress, so I wanted to share that. Okay, oh, here it is. Okay, so the yarn that I am using was, oh my gosh, it's Big Twist Party in the colorway Cherry Blossom from Joann's. So my cat got a hold of my yarn, and now it's like this big just like mess. Anyways, that's what it looks like. Here's what it looks like knit up. So I did, okay, here's the collar, and I'm starting like onto the, not the body, what's this, the increases. So like I said, I've never knit a sweater before, So if you are an experienced knitter and you knit sweaters all the time, I have a question for you. Are like these holes where my increases are, is that normal? Like, is that normal for them to be there? Am I doing something wrong? Is that part of the knitting increase process? I'm not sure. I don't think it's a huge deal, but like it still looks good. I just didn't know if that was just part of the process or if I was doing something wrong. It's on all sides, on all increase sides. But when I looked at the picture, I'm like, I noticed it on hers, but hers didn't look as gappy. Maybe my tension is loose. But I do tend to be a tight knitter, so I'm not really sure. But I would love anybody's input on this. And if it's fine, I'm just gonna keep going. But I'm still in my increase rounds. I think I have 50 increases and I might be halfway there. So, but anyways, I've really been enjoying it. It has been a slow process for sure. And I really haven't been in the mood to work on it. But I know I will be. I'm just a very much, whatever I'm in the mood to work on is what I'm gonna work on. And if I'm not in the mood, I'm not gonna push myself to work through it because that's just not enjoyable. But yeah, so this is the sweater and I'm really excited to finish it and see how it wears and how it turns out. I find the process of crocheting my own sweaters easier. Maybe it's just because I've been, doing it for years and I kind of know, what fits my body shape and what I like and what I don't like, compared to knitting where I've only knit socks and hats and scarves, never like a full sweater. But I am enjoying the process and I look forward to when this is done. It's probably going to be a slow process, but that's okay. So yeah. I did have kind of a random, kind of like the hat, a very like impulse, like I want to make this. I did buy the Red Heart granny stripe, or oh my god, granny square granny square yarn. My brain just can't today. The Red Heart granny square yarn. I've been seeing it everywhere, and honestly I had really no intention of like buying it because I have so many projects and it just really wasn't on my radar. And I stopped at Joann's this past week to buy a skein yarn to make a gift for a friend, and of course they had this, so I was just like looking at it and I'm like, wow, that is really pretty. And then also my one coworker was wearing a sweater recently, and it was like the sweater where the sleeves were crocheted like a granny square crochet, but the rest of the body was just a solid color. And I have been seeing that all over Pinterest. I've been really inspired by that for a long time now, but just never took the initiative to do it. And then she wore that sweater to work and I was like, I need to make one for myself. So that day I went and picked up yarn and I saw this and I'm like, wow, those colors are really pretty. So I bought it. And then they also had a sale on some Big Twist colors that I haven't seen. So I bought this pink Big Twist Fleck. This color is called Strawberry Smoothie. This is like the most perfect pink ever. And it has this beautiful specks of colors on it, like tweed. So I got it to pair with this. But I started crocheting the granny squares, so I did one this morning. So here's the first square. Very pretty. I think it's really pretty, and it is nice to not have to like worry about switching colors. I thought it was going to be a little different, but also I don't know if it's for a specific type of granny square. Either way, I love it and I think it's beautiful. So this is going to be like a part of the sleeve. So what I'm envisioning in my head, because I'm not following a pattern, is like this will be the top part of the sleeve and then I'll make one to go underneath it. So I'll probably end up making like 6. No, I'll probably end up making 8. Wait, I can't math. No, I'm sorry. 6 granny square totals. Because I'll have 3 on the top, 3 big on the bottom to make the sleeve. That's just for one arm. So I guess 12 total. So then these will be the sleeves. And then I wanted this to be the main body color. But I'm kind of second guessing now, along with this pink, if it will look good. What do you guys think? I'm really sad because I love this, and I bought like 6 skeins of it. Thinking in my head that I'm going to be making a sweater. But now I'm like, oh no, I don't know if this is going to match. Because like this is a very bright pink, but it's way off from this one. I don't know. Please tell me what you guys think. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll work a swatch up and like pair it and see how it looks together. But I'm having second guesses. I mean, worst case scenario, I have to go buy a different pink for the body because I want it to be pink. I want the body to be pink. And then I can just save this pink for another sweater. Like, it's not a huge deal, but I was really hoping. I don't know. I have to think on it. But that was my very random impulse make, heavily inspired by my my coworker's sweater that she had on, and just because I see it on Pinterest all the time, and it's something I've been wanting to do but just never did. So we'll see how it turns out. But that is all the projects that I'm currently working on. I wanted to share. I did get some sock yarn, 1 skein. My intention for this year, like creative related, is to go through my stash. Not go crazy with buying yarn. Go through my stash because I have more than enough sock yarn to make all the socks. So yeah, I did buy 1 skein. Nope, I lied. I did order another skein, but it's gonna take a while to get here. Okay, so I bought 2 skeins, but after that, I'm done. So I'll share this one with you. It is so fun and so pretty. So this is a Treehouse Knits, and she dropped a office themed collection, and I love The Office. It is one of my all-time favorite TV shows, and I literally could not decide which colorway to get because they were all so good. But anyways, this one is Scranton. What? If you have seen The Office and the episode where Dwight and Michael sing the Electric City song, that's what this is based off of, and I just love it. It's so much fun. I almost bought her Dwight colorway, and I think she had, and whatever her Michael colorway was, there were so many I couldn't choose, but I was like, just get one for socks, don't go crazy. And then I did order a progress keeper that she like collabed with someone to do, and I can't think off the top of my head which artist it was, but I'll link below. But she made like office themed progress keepers and stitch markers, so I bought one to go with this because you have to. So I'm really excited for this, to make some office socks. That is the only like yarn that I bought. Besides my sweater yarn, I'm gonna be good. I did have one more thing I wanted to share. For Christmas, my brother-in-law, the same one that I'm making the socks for, he forges, like as in like forging metal. He, for Christmas, forged me a pair of knitting needles. Look how cool these are. So cool. He just like whipped these up too, like no problem. What a cool gift. They are like a little heavier, obviously, because like they're, they're like solid metal. And they have that like super metal smell too. But I just what a cool idea. Very cool. So I'll probably end up hanging these in here in my knitting room because they're just so cool not like to display. I might try to knit maybe a dishcloth with these, but they are a little heavy, but they are still really cool. I love the detail on the top part. Very cool. Very cool. Anyways, that was just a random thing I wanted to share for my knitting friends because I thought that was a really cool gift. But yeah, as far as my makes, that is all I have to share today, make-wise. I did decide to bring back kind of like segments to my video. I want to talk about books and I want to talk about video games, but I wanted to break them down into sections. That way anybody who had no interest could just go ahead and skip ahead. So thanks for hanging around to check out all of my yarny creations. Alright guys, I want to talk about books. I have been in such a reading slump for like so long, I feel like, and I miss it. I really want to get back into it. I did read a couple books like over the last few months, but it like took me a while to get through them. My husband and I recently went to Barnes & Noble, I don't know, weeks ago now, and I just like stocked up on books, and I wanted to share them and talk about them. So, first, I want to share, I have talked in the past about my love for manga. I don't know if you pronounce it manga, however you pronounce it. I just say manga because I don't really know. But anyways, I do love manga. This series is called Watakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku. I read the first one. And I love it. So I love super cheesy romance manga. Like I love like the action and like really good story line ones too, but I prefer to watch anime if it's more action packed. And then I prefer to read like the cheesy romance manga, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I read the first one, super cute. I think there's quite a few of these. I can't remember how many there are off the top of my head. But anyways, that's also the nice thing about manga is I can just fly through them, because if you aren't familiar with what manga is, they are like Japanese. The way I describe it to people when they ask me is literally like Japanese like comics kind of. But they're not really comics, but that's how like they're read. But I love them. You can buy like Japanese versions, but this is like an English version. But manga is primarily like a Japanese thing. And then I started the second one. I'm about no, I almost said halfway. No, I'm actually not halfway through. I'm like a fourth way through probably. But if you love manga and you love super cheesy romancy type books, this one is really, really good. So that is what I'm currently reading at the moment. That manga. Next, I did buy the Fourth Wing book. I've been seeing it everywhere and hearing about everywhere from everybody, so I did start it. I'm still super early on, but so far I'm really enjoying it. So far, it's giving me like Hunger Games, kind of like Hunger Games meets, I don't know, something else. But I am intrigued and I'm not far, so like I can't really like go into depth about this yet. But I've been seeing it everywhere. And if you've read it, I'd love to know what you think about it. If you loved it or if you hated it. I know some people didn't like it. But that's always, just personal preference. But I'd love to hear what you think. So yeah, that's Fourth Wing. And then I think there's a second one. So yeah, so right now, these are my two current reads. I don't mind. I'm not a person that can read like multiple books at the same time. Because then, I don't know, I get like all confused. But if it's like a manga, that's different. I don't know. I can like separate those from just like a regular book. So those are my 2 current reads. But then I bought Bookshops and Bone Dust. Sorry about the glare. I think I shared about the Legends and Lattes book on my podcast. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, cutest read. I loved it. And I forgot that they have this one, the Bookshops and Bone Dust one. And my husband saw it and he's like, hey, look, there's this book. And I was like, oh. So I grabbed it and I can't wait to read it. Legends and Lattes was, if you just want a cute, cozy, wholesome, quick read, and if you're into like Dungeons and Dragons type things, that type of kind of genre, I guess, like the main character's an orc. So like if you're into that kind of stuff, I highly suggest reading it. Super cute, super cozy and wholesome. Cannot wait to dive into this one and read it too, because I'm sure it's going to be just as good. So that was another book I bought, and then this was the last one I bought. Murtagh. If you've read the Aragon series, this is based off of Murtagh, so I think that's how you say it. I don't know if you pronounce it another way. I don't know. By Christopher Polini. I love the Aragon series. I even thought about rereading them because it's been such a long time. And my husband just recently read them too, and he loved them. So when we saw this, we were like, we have to get it. So I am definitely excited to read this one. Aragon is a dragon series. So good. So good. There is, how many? 2, 3, 4 books in the Aragon series, and they're all real thick books like this one. But super good story. If you haven't read the Aragon series, I highly suggest reading it. But yeah, so this was the last book that we bought. So I'm really hoping to get my reading mojo back, because I just miss it. And like I said earlier, my goal for my podcast is to really incorporate things that I love and really want to share and talk about. And aside from like knitting and crochet, I love books and I love video games. So I want to incorporate that into these as well. I did in the very beginning, but then like I kind of immediately strayed away from it. But yeah, I just want to talk about the things that I love, because I know there's so many other people out there that also love it too. So anyways, that was my book ramble, kind of what I'm looking to read. If you've read any of them, I absolutely want to hear everything about it, what your thoughts are, if you plan to read them. So yeah. Alright guys, let's go into the final segment today in this video, which will be video games. So I, in the very beginning of my podcast, had shared about how much I love video games and I love to play video games. But when I continued my podcast, I kind of just like stopped and strayed away from it, because I feel like video games have such a bad rep and like stigma of like, once you're an adult, like you shouldn't be playing video games because that's only for children. And I just think that is so silly. Like, to me, playing through a video game is like, to me, the same as binge watching a TV show or reading a book, or, you know, you are immersing yourself into this world, you know, you're playing through a story or creating in a video game. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of get like defensive when people like talk bad about video games or like say negative comments about them. Because what's the difference if you sit and scroll on TikTok for 5 hours, or somebody isn't fully happy enjoying playing a video game? Like, it just doesn't, I don't know. I just think it's silly. And I think you should do whatever brings you happiness and joy. So anyways, I'm done. I'm done ranting about that. But anyways, yes, I love video games. My husband and I play video games quite often. We also just play like separately, like we each have like our own style of video games. I am very much a cozy gamer. Like, I love games where I can be creative and build things. I also love like horror type games too, surprisingly. I'm not really into like the shooter type games like Call of Duty and stuff like that. That's not really my thing. But some of the main games that I love to play are, of course, Animal Crossing. I know I've talked about Animal Crossing multiple times. That is a very cute, cozy, mindless, relaxing game. I love to play The Sims. Um, I love Stardew Valley. Any type of like farming sim type game, I just love. My group of friends are also gamers, and a lot of times we play the game Dead by Daylight, which, if you haven't heard of this game, it's like the most like competitive I will ever get in like a video game. But you have like a killer, and then you have 4 survivors. So like a person will play as the killer, and actually the killers are like, they have like Michael Myers and Scream and, killers like that. And then you have 4 survivors, and you're like in this map, and like you start the match, like you're playing a match, and the match starts, and the goal is for the killer to find all 4 survivors and like chase you, and like when the killer like finds you, he picks you up and like puts you on a hook, and you're like hooked. And the goal for the survivors is to survive, and you have to complete these generators. And when you complete the generators, these like exit gates open, and then you have to like run away and like get out of the match, basically. Anyways, it's a super fun game, and my friends and I play it a lot, and it is just so much fun. It's so great. So I played a lot of that. I recently bought the game House Flipper 2. I played the first one and I loved it. It is just what the game says, house flipping. So you just like completely demolish houses and rebuild them up and decorate and paint, and it is just so fun. When I get games like that, I can literally get sucked into them so bad, but I love them. But yeah, I really just kind of wanted to like ease into the segment because I want to talk about video games more and talk about like what I'm currently playing in like future videos. But I really just wanted to like talk about my love for them and like what types of games that I enjoy playing. But at this moment, I've been playing House Flipper, and I still play a lot of Dead by Daylight. My husband and I play this MMO game called Guild Wars 2. If you're not familiar with MMOs, it's like an open world, I guess you would categorize it as an RPG. Like you're fighting things and leveling up your characters, and it's like a huge open map, and you're playing with other people. I love it. I'll describe it as like World of Warcraft is basically kind of what it is, but in my opinion, it's better. It's just so much fun. So we play that a lot. So yeah, I also love retro games. Like as a kid, I would say my first console was a Sega, given to me by my uncle, and so Sonic was like the first game I ever played. And then like as a kid, like my sisters and I, we had a PlayStation 1, but like that was when I really like fell in love with video games, and oh my god, I think I can make a whole video talking about video games. But so still to this day, I still enjoy them. I still love to play them. I think for me, it's such a hobby, like a nice hobby to come home from work and unwind to, and like to immerse myself in these stories, or like to be creative in these outlets is so much fun for me. But if you are here and you're still listening and you play video games, I would love to hear what your favorites are. What kind of games are you into? What are you currently playing? I would love to hear it all. So yeah, so I think I'm gonna end this video here. Thanks for listening to me ramble through all my projects and books and video games. As always, I just get so excited. I feel like I talk so fast. But I'm looking forward to another year of podcasting and just really, putting more intentions into this channel and what I want to make and what I want to share with everybody, and really engage more. I just want to know what you're working on, what are your hobbies, what do you love to do. But yeah, anyways, I hope I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I appreciate you so much for being here. And I hope you take care of yourself, and I will see you again next time.